Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson with BA 156. We are now on to Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is on revision and presentation of your writing. Revising a document is very, very important. I would say 99.9% of us can't just write a document, not review and revise it, and then send it out. Typically, that does not happen. And maybe if it's just a short text or email or something like that. But typically, we want to revise, review, and then rewrite if necessary. So our learning objectives for Chapter 7 are discuss the process of revision, list 3 general elements of every document that require revision, list 6 specific elements of every document to check for revision, discuss and demonstrate the use of 12 points to consider for style revisions, describe 5 elements of critical analysis to use in evaluating someone else's writing. So we'll talk about, how you should be evaluating someone else's writing and the way to prompt a very two-way or two-sided conversation in terms of what they actually need to revise, as opposed to you just saying, hey, this is what you should do, not getting any feedback, and having it more like a lecture as opposed to let's have an interactive discussion. Let me tell you what I saw. Let's talk about how we can fix things. Demonstrate how to deliver an evaluation constructively and respectfully. All right. You don't want to just, yell at someone. They won't receive the feedback in a great manner. Understand the difference between revising and proofreading. There is a difference, and how to use proofreading marks, which they typically most of you guys have used those in Word documents. Describe 6 design elements for evaluation. And that'll be it for our learning objectives for Chapter 7. General revision points to consider. So you want to evaluate the actual content, right? That's the meat of the document. Content should address the central questions of who, what, where, when, why, and how, right? Those are the main questions. If you have those covered, typically it will be a document that can communicate exactly what you want it to. And how within the range of the parameters of the given assignment. Evaluate organization, right? So it can't just be a bunch of slop thrown in there. Even if it's good content, it needs to be organized. Decide on a direct or indirect approach. Am I going to tell a story kind of indirectly, or are we just going to tell you the facts, 1, 2, 3, 4, in a direct manner? Use a wide variety of organizing principles. Pay special attention to transition from this topic to the next topic. Is it a good and is it a smooth transition that someone would understand? And make sure your conclusion reflects your introduction, right? At the end, it should go back to what you said at the introduction in terms of what you were attempting to do with this document. When I say document, I could mean email, could mean text, could be longer, formal document. So general revision points to consider. Evaluate the style. Style is created through content, right? Remember the meat of the document. Organization, how you organize things in bullet points. A word choice, are you using the right type of words that people can understand? What level is it on? This needs to be on the right level. Some could be to a lower level of a degree of understanding. Some could be to a higher. And grammatical structures. Ensure consistency in style, right? You don't want to have same style in paragraph 1 and 2 and then totally different style in 3 and 4. In case of collaboration with other writers, unify the document across the different author styles of writing. So if there are 4 of you in a group and you do a project, right, we have to kind of unify the document. And I shouldn't be able to tell that 4 different people contributed to the document. Evaluate readability, right? So you don't want to just confuse people. I don't like those emails or documents that are sent out that I cannot understand. I have to read over and over again. Nobody does. We want to understand it. Make your writing clear and concise, not complex and challenging. I don't want you to be challenged by what I wrote. I want you to understand what I wrote. Determine the approximate reading level using the tools menu of word processing program, right? So you want to know what level is this for, high level professor, PhD type, or is it just, a lower level, sending an email throughout the organization. Choose words which perceive as appropriate for the audience, right? So you'll make sure that, what you're saying is appropriate to them and understandable, of course. So specific revision points to consider: your format, right? You want to make sure that your format is appropriate and correct. Involves the design expectations of the author and also the audience. Information should be in the correct location. Facts, right? Those are, the 1, 2, 3 bolt nuts and bolts of the document. Verify that all statistics or references, right? So different places you can verify. There's a lot of misinformation on the internet. I believe we've, kind of summed that up throughout the class. that is the case. Get information from a reliable source and do an independent verification, not just because Demetrius said so. I want to go verify for myself that this is legitimate information. Names, right? You don't want to misspell anyone's names. Sometimes people get severely offended by that. Spelling, incorrect spelling can negatively impact your reputation as a writer. It's like, this person didn't even take the time to use spell check, or they don't know how to spell. And I mean, I think those things, even though I know they're, innocent mistakes, I think, different of people who send documents that have a lot of, misspellings in there. Will be perceived as a lack of attention to detail, destroys the value of the content because people are paying attention to the errors in regards to the spelling. And spell check tool can and does make mistakes, right? It doesn't always take tense into consideration. If I say go over there and I write THEIR, I spell THEIR correctly, but there means there as in people, not over there. So spell check isn't the solution to all your problems. Punctuation, so enables you to communicate with maximum efficiency while reducing the probability of error. Get the exclamation part in there, a point in there to show, excitement. And, there are a couple boxes. I'll kind of breeze through them. But what I expect for you guys to do is pause the video, look at them, and make sure you have the proper understanding of punctuation in these upcoming boxes, which are right here. So apostrophe, Michelle's report is due tomorrow, right? You see the apostrophe that's right there, right? It's her report, ownership of the report. The colon, this is what I think. You need to revise your paper. Comma, the report advised us when to sell, comma, then another, statement, what to sell, comma, and where to find buyers. You don't always need that comma right there, but they're showing you as a point. Dash, this is more difficult than it seems. Dash, buyers are scarce when the credit is tight. Ellipsis, and a lot of people don't know that. All you guys probably use it because you send somebody, are you going to the store or not? ... Right? But it's ellipsis. Lincoln spoke with spoke of a new nation, ... dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And exclamation point, how exciting. So if you don't understand these, press pause and stay right there. It is a video. You can press pause at any time and focus on any of the slides. A hyphen, question is many faceted one. Parentheses, to answer it, right? Or at least, to begin addressing it, right? In parentheses, we will need more information. I use those a lot at work. Period. The answer is no. Period. Full stop, right? Question mark. Can I talk you into changing your mind? Like this, I'm asking, it's a question. Quotation marks. The manager told him, and so I'm quoting what the manager said. I will make sure Renee is available to help you, right? Because that's what that manager said. And then semicolon, Teresa was late to her meeting. Semicolon, her computer had frozen and she was stuck at the desk until a tech rep came to fix it, right? So again, if you need to pause it right there and make sure that you know and understand the punctuation marks. So style revision. So break up long sentences, right? You don't just want long run-on sentences. People will lose they'll lose the train of thought. You'll have them go in the right direction and they'll just tail off because your sentence is too long. And what you're writing could be too long as well. Revise big words and long phrases, evaluate long prepositional phrases, and delete repetitious words if you're using a word over and over again. Sometimes when people speak, they do that, but you want to not do it when you speak, and you don't want to do it when you write either. If you say and like those things that you go to like Toastmasters or speech classes that they want you to eliminate, and they count how many times did he say or anything like that. Eliminate archaic expressions or references, right? So you don't want old speak, old talk that people no longer know what it means, or nobody uses it anymore. And avoid fillers. You don't want to just use filler words, also like and everything, just because you want to, I want to explain what I want to explain. I don't want to put any extra fillers in there if it's truly not needed. You want to eliminate slang, right? So if you're writing a document, don't put your text talk in there. Evaluate cliches, emphasize precise words, evaluate parallel construction, avoid obscured verbs, and make sure that it is professional, right? If you send out a professional document, please make sure it is professional. Evaluating the work of others. So there are 5 steps in evaluation. So 1, you want to understand the assignment. If you don't understand the assignment, then how can you truly evaluate it and be helpful to them? Evaluate how well the writing carries out the assignment. Evaluate assertions. Check the facts, right? Now we're double checking facts. Look for errors. Are there errors here that need to be corrected, right? You're taking basically a red line, a red pencil to the document. Now, when you're delivering the evaluation, be tactful and diplomatic, right? You don't want to hurt the person's feelings. You want them to know and understand we're in a safe space. I'm giving you good feedback, and you want them to actually use the feedback. If you come off to them too strong, they're not going to use the feedback, whether you're right or wrong. Separate the messenger from the message. So if you're mad at the person, separate, your message that you're relaying. And that goes for anything, not just in this class, whether it be at the office. Maybe you don't like the person that much, but you want to separate the message from the messenger, and also the work from the a person who's actually completing the work. Avoid the use of the word you, right? Because that infers like pointing the finger at someone. Phrase your evaluation as a question, right? Do you think that you should use this many exclamation points in the paragraph, right? And then they'll scratch their head and say, maybe I don't know. Maybe I should, maybe I should. Proofreading. Professional proofreaders use standard markings that indicate where changes need to be made. You'll see those in a Word document. And so what I'll do is they'll proofread it. They'll mark it up. They won't fix it. They'll just mark it up and show you where they proofread it. And then you can say, okay, right click. I do agree with these changes. And that's typically how it works. Or they could just revise it for you and then send it back. Word processing programs also incorporate proofreading symbols in their menus, like Word. Be familiar with the various traditional proofreading marks. Design evaluation, so framing, how the information is presented, including margins, line justifications, and template expectations, right? So that's the look and aesthetic feel of the document. Template is a normative expectations for a specific type of document. This is a template. Like I have templates for certain things at work. This is the information I need from you, 1, 2, 3, and I also need A, B, C. Typeface, so design of symbols, including letters and numbers. Two general categories of typeface are serif and sans serif. So you have your paragraphs, right? Typically people will write in paragraphs. People generally recall the last point presented and tend to forget content in the middle of a sequence. So think about it. It's that last thing that's said at the end of the document that sticks into your brain. And so you want to make sure, like they said, you want to make sure that your conclusion matches your introduction, because that's what you want to leave those people with. Place your best point in the most appropriate location. And you see the sentence before that, right? You want to, obviously you're linking these two sentences together to say you want to make sure your best point is in the introduction, and also even more so stated more so strongly in the conclusion. Verbal and visual messages should complement each other, right? So they should complement each other. They don't always. I know sometimes when people have communication, they trust what the person is saying as opposed to their nonverbal language, right? The way they're looking. Always, like I've said before, trust the nonverbal cues first, but the nonverbal and verbal cues should match. And provide web links to facilitate interactivity. So that's it for chapter 7. Short and sweet. Should be able to look and understand that. Make sure you read the chapter, do whatever quiz is applicable. And always, if you have any questions or need any assistance, please feel free to email me. I'm always here to assist. I hope you guys have a great day.